So start with Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire नष्टप्रायेषु अवधेषु नित्यसेवया भगवतोत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रहे ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Thank you all for joining today, and it's my pleasure to have you all and have discussed Bhagavatam. So I'll start with the today we'll go with the Bhagavatam Mahatmaya, that is basically glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam, and we'll try to cover in whole 30 days in the Purushottam month, the glorious month which comes in every 3 or 4 years, to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's being said the best month of a year is called as Kartik month, and any devotional activity we do in the month of Kartik, we get 1,000 times more benefit. And any activity, any devotional activity we do in month of Purushottam month, we get 1,000 more than of Kartik months. So imagine it, we will be getting 10 lakhs more benefit by doing any devotional activity in the month of Purushottam months. So which starts today. And before that, we will be discussing about the Mahatmaya of Bhagavatam, what Bhagavatam is, how to read Bhagavatam, what are the benefits of reading Bhagavatam, and how to keep Bhagavatam, how to pray Bhagavatam, how to offer Bhagavatam, and everything. We'll try to cover as much as possible in this today. And to be very honest, no, I do not have any ability to discuss about Bhagavatam. However, I will try to provide as many things what I have learned and heard from senior devotees, the Vaishnavas, and from the books of Srila Prabhupada. So I would like you all to actually pray for me as well, so that we continue discussing about on Srimad Bhagavatam every day unfailingly for the whole month. Right. Okay. So okay, so let's see what is Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, the Srimad Bhagavatam itself describes in itself what Srimad Bhagavatam is. In 12th canto, it says that Nimna Gananam Yatha Ganga Devanam Yachuto Yatha Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhu Purananam Idam Tatha. What does that mean? Like, just as Ganges is the greatest of all rivers, and Lord Achyuta, the supreme among the deities, and Lord Shambhu, who is the greatest Vaishnavas, so is the Srimad Bhagavatam, the greatest of all Puranas. Right. So the Srimad Bhagavatam describes itself that it is the most or greatest Puranas. So we know that Srila Vyasadeva has wrote the Puranas and Upanishads and everything, and this is the compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost of them. And there are 4 sampradayas. Sampradayas basically we can say that authorized institute or authorized kind of classification from where we get spiritual injections or spiritual knowledge. And all the sampradayas actually they come from and they promote Srimad Bhagavatam as well. They discuss about Srimad Bhagavatam. And let's see, the first one is Sri Sampadaya. So Lord Vishnu, he explained, he spoke Bhagavatam to Lakshmi Devi or Sri, and she spoke to Vishnu again for 2 months, and then it got one parampara or one sampradaya that is called as Sri Sampradaya. And the second one comes from Rudra Sampradaya or Lord Shiva's. He also glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam continuously, non-stop, and he always in the Samadhi reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. That is Rudra Sampradaya. And then one more is called as Brahma Sampradaya, where Lord Brahma is given the knowledge of Bhagavatam by Vishnu himself in 4 slokas, and then he spread the message in disciplic succession. That is called as third Sampradaya or Brahma Sampradaya. And the 4th Sampradaya is Chatuskumar, or we know the first son, 4 sons of Brahma, like Sanaka, Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanat Kumar. These are the 4 sons. They wanted to always remain as a child. However, they are very glorious in their knowledge, very profound in knowledge, and hence one sampradaya comes from that is called as Chatushkumar Sampradaya. We as a ISKCON, we all know the Hare Krishna movement, it comes under the Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya or Brahma Sampradaya. So, and then again it's being explained that Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. It is also called as Mantramurti or sound incarnation of Lord Krishna. And even it's called as literal incarnation of Krishna. That we will understand it in going forward in our sessions. Right. So what happens? There is one story. I'll try to brief it as possible. It comes in Padma Purana. So Padma Purana glorifies the Srimad Bhagavatam, and there it says once what happened. Lord Narada, he was actually touring to the universe, and he went to so many places of pilgrimage, even in Gaya, Kashi, and everywhere. But he could see that the influence of Kali, or it was in a Kali Yuga, so the influence of Kali has came up, and at the end he reached to Vrindavan. And by reaching Vrindavan, he saw a lady, a beautiful lady, but she had 2 old men with her, and the Narada Muni asked, "Oh lady, who are you?" Then she said, "I am Bhakti Devi, and these are my 2 sons, Vairagya and Jnana." So the Jnana and Vairagya are the 2 sons, and then Narada Muni says, "How come you are these old sons and they are diseased as well?" She narrated the story that no, I actually came from Dravid Desh, or that is South India, and then I went through, I got respected in everywhere, and then I went to west of India towards Gujarat, and she got old, and when she came back again to Vrindavan, she got her youth again. So then he glorified, Narada Muni glorified Bhakti Devi, saying, "Wow, so even in this Kali Yuga, when you came back into Vrindavan, you got your youth. And Vrindavan is the place where the effect of Kali Yuga is not being seen there." And then she asked a question that why did King Parishit or Parishit Maharaj, he left Kali. He could have killed Kali so that, we shouldn't have these problems. Then again, Narad Muni explains that, this Kali Yuga has got very good, nice benediction as well. And by seeing this, Parikshit Maharaj has allowed Kali to stay. And it's being said in 12th canto, it says, Kalir doso nidhe rajan asti hai ek mahan guna kritanad eva krishna shya mukta sanga param brajit. He says, my dear king, although this Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. And that what that? Kirtanad eva Krishnasya. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from the material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. So by knowing this, Parikshit Maharaj has left Kali. And then Narada Muni told Bhakti Devi, don't worry. I'll try to enliven your sons, Jnana and Vairagya. And Narada Muni tried. He tried many things. He tried to push them with physical thing, and then he tried to recite, Vedas, Brahma Sutras, Gita, but they didn't got off. And Narada Muni got bewildered. How come that, these Vedas even not enlivening these two sons? And then a celestial voice came up. He says, "Oh Narada, don't get dejected. The way to get rid of this slip of this old age of Jnana and Vairagya will be revealed to you by the holy sages in holy place soon." So Narada Muni said, okay, where shall I go? He went to so many places, and at the end he reached Badrikashram, and where he met four Kumaras of son of Brahma. And as Narada Muni met him, then the four Kumaras says, how come you are looking so distressed? People when see you, Narada Muni, they got enlivened. How come you are so distressed? And then the Narada Muni explains the same thing, and he said, I have promised Bhakti Devi that I need to enliven her two sons, but I don't know what to do. Then Chatush Kumar, the four Kumaras, they told that you could have spoken Srimad Bhagavatam to them. The Narad Muni told, I have already spoken them all the Vedas. Doesn't the Vedas contain Srimad Bhagavatam? Then Kumara says, how could you forget it? When Srila Vyasadeva was distressed, when Srila Vyasadeva, after compiling all these Puranas and all the scriptures, he was still not satisfied. And then you only suggested him to write Srimad Bhagavatam, and now you are asking the same question. And then they explained more thing. It's like the Vedas are like forest, right? And they explain very nice example. They say that, in a milk, we cannot see ghee, isn't it? But still the ghee is present there. When we make the ghee into more boiling and then churning, and then we get the ghee. So essence is there. Though Vedas are there, but essence is the Srimad Bhagavatam. So once we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we can get the essence of that. And he gave another example. He says, in a mango tree, the juice of the mango is always everywhere there, in the trunk, in the branches, in the leaves, in the twigs, everywhere. However, you can only release the juice when you have the fruit or fructified fruit, or called as mango fruit. Then only you can actually know what juice tastes like. Just by licking the leaves or biting the branches, you won't get that juice. So that is the essence. So in these two examples, he showed that the essence is basically of all the Vedas is Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he explains how to read Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, Sada Sevya Srimad Bhagavati Katha Yasha Shravana Matrena Harishchittam Samashita. He says, you should be listening or doing service to Bhagavatam when? Sada Sevya, every time. Sada Sevya, Srimad Bhagavati Katha, Yasya Shravana Matrena Harishchittam Samashita. And when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day, every time, then what happens? Hari, Lord Hari, Krishna, he comes in our heart. He takes shelter in our heart. And then what he does? He actually start cleaning everything. All the desires, lusty desires, and material desires, what we have, he starts cleaning it. It's like Still Krishna is there in our heart as a super soul, but we could not see him. We could not communicate with him. Why? It's because, just take an example. Let's suppose we have a house and we go out for 2 to 3 years. And then when we come back, we could not see our face in a mirror because the mirror got dusty, isn't it? And when we clean the dust of the mirror, we could see our face very clearly. In the similar way, when we hear this Bhagavad Katha, Srimad Bhagavatam, to our ears, then Krishna enters and he starts cleaning that mirror. And once that mirror is being cleaned, we could see him face to face. And then again, he explained that, what is the need of any other scriptures? Because it says, Ekam Bhagavatam Shastram Mukti Danena Garjati. There is no need of any other scriptures who might confuse us, because the Puranas and Vedas are so vast that we don't find the real essence of that. And it says there is no need, because Ekam Bhagavatam Shastram, which is actually spoken by Sukadev Goswami, that is Mukti Danena Garjati. That Bhagavatam is roaring like a lion to provide mukti. The problem with us is that we do not take shelter of Bhagavatam. Everyone who are frustrated from the material things, they are hankering for mukti, but no one is taking shelter of Bhagavatam. So if you take shelter of Bhagavatam, that Bhagavatam is capable of providing mukti to us, because that's clearly mentioned in Padma Purana. Ekam Bhagavatam Shastram Mukti Danena Garjati. And then again it's explained that any sin cannot reside in someone's heart or with someone until the time he has not listened to Srimad Bhagavatam. So once we start listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, the sin itself goes away from us. Right? Again, it's described in a more way that no places like, neither Ganga, nor Gaya, nor Kashi, nor Pushkar, they can actually clean us. But just by hearing the talks of Srimad Bhagavatam, it can cleanse it. How it happens? To understand is, when we deep dive in Ganges, we definitely will clean our sins. However, the desire of doing the sin is not being cleaned. So we still, when you dive into Ganges, bath in the Ganges, when we go to pilgrimage, definitely our sins get cleared. That's for sure. But the thing is that the desire, it's not there. It's being said like, elephant bath, right? Elephant bath is basically, the elephant goes to take bath in the lake, and once he come out, he starts showering the sand and soil again in his body. So when you go on to the pilgrimages, the sins get cleaned, but our heart to do sinful activities, it doesn't get clear. But when we take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, that seed of sinful desires that get uprooted from the heart, and hence there is no more sin reside in us. And then in this way, I'm cutting it short, the Bhakti Devi, while this talk was going on, the Bhakti Devi came, and she came and started dancing with her son as well, because the Bhagavatam is going on. And then someone they said, Bhakti Devi, from where did you came? She came, I came from the Bhagavatam itself. And Bhakti Devi asked, where shall I sit? There is a very nice reply given to Bhakti Devi that, she said, Bhakti Devi, you should sit on the heart of the devotees, because when you sit on the heart of the devotees, you actually control Krishna. And what you do, you provide a love of Krishna to the devotees. So definitely you should go and sit in the heart of the devotees. And by that, you make easy access to Govinda to the devotees. And hence it was glorified that any person, any devotee is doing bhakti or keeping bhakti in his heart, they can access to Lord Govinda, right? And then she was given a place to sit on the Vaishnava's heart. And there's a question again asked that how many people can get benefited by reading this or hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam? The answer was given that, any degraded sinner you can think of, the person will get benefited by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And there was a very nice story comes of Gokarna. Sometime we will listen that Gokarna story as well. And the Gokarna stories goes very nicely, very elaborately, that how bhakti or hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam gives liberation to all. So I will go on some more things before going into that. And then Srimad Bhagavatam is it got contained 12 canto, and the 12 canto are being compared with the limbs of the Lord Krishna itself. And the two are his feet, and then third and fourth canto are his thighs. Fifth comes into the udar, and sixth and the chest, seventh and eighth his hand, and kanta his face. This being described that these 10 things or 10 canto is symbolized the Lord Krishna himself, right? So then a question being asked, how can we read? How many times should we listen to Srimad Bhagavatam? The answer is being said that Sadashevya, Sadashevya. Every time, whenever you have time, you can listen it. Sadashevya, Sadashevya, Srimad Bhagavati Katha, Yasya Sravana Matrena, Harishchitam Samashita. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna comes in our heart. Right? And what if we do not listen? Interesting thing, isn't it? So what happens if you do not hear this katha? It says, as long as one has not heard Srimad Bhagavatam katha from the lips of Sukadeva Goswami or from a bona fide disciplic succession, he will never be free. He will remain covered by the dense darkness of ignorance, fated to revolve in the cycle of birth and death. So again, to get out of this material birth and death, we have to take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it being said that, reciting even Srimad Bhagavatam daily, remembering Lord Hari constantly, nurturing the Tulsi plant, protecting and caring the cows are actually equally beneficially. So, because everyone, they please to Srimad, to Lord Krishna, like, serving to Tulsi Devi, it serves to Krishna, it pleases Krishna. When we chant Holy's name, we please Krishna. When we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, it pleases Krishna. And when we take care of cows, it pleases Krishna as well. And then comes, let's imagine, we understood about if we do not listen to Krishna, then what happens? What happens if we hear Krishna? It says, at the time of death, if someone hears Bhagavad Katha, the flow of nectar that has come out from the lips of Sukadeva Goswami, Lord Govinda becomes very pleased and takes that person to Vaikuntha Loka. See, everyone wants to get liberation, isn't it? Everyone thinking, okay, how can I get liberated? But here it's been clearly said that if at the time of death, anyone hears Srimad Bhagavatam Katha, then Lord Govinda, who is very pleased, he takes the person to Vaikuntha Dham. And what happens when we keep Srimad Bhagavatam at our home? Any home where Bhagavad Katha is recited daily, any place where Bhagavad Katha or Pravachan has been organized becomes a holy place, and the sinful reactions of the residents of that place will be dissolved. So our devotee, in our Karuna Bhavan temple, His Grace Ramananda Prabhu, he was saying a talk sometimes. He said that Srimad Bhagavatam, if we do not have an altar in our home, we can actually install Srimad Bhagavatam in our home, and we can worship the Srimad Bhagavatam, because Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. We will understand it when we maybe in first or second session, that there is explained that when Krishna went back to his, after finishing his pastimes, Srimad Bhagavatam, he came up in the form of Krishna. So that is not different from Krishna. We can place the Bhagavatam in our altar. We can worship it. Whenever we cook prasadam or bhoga, we can offer it to him. Whenever we want to read the book, we can take from altar and we can read it. So same Srimad Bhagavatam can be done or offered in a many different way. We can hear him, we can read him, we can offer prasadam, we can worship him as well. So that is how Srimad Bhagavatam is being worshipped. And as I said, the first and second cantos of Bhagavatam are Sri Krishna's lotus feet. The third and fourth cantos are thighs. Fifth canto is his navel. Sixth canto is his chest. Seventh and eighth canto are his arms. The ninth canto is his throat. The 10th canto is his beautiful lotus face. And the 11th canto is his forehead. And 12th canto is at the top of his head. So that is how Srimad Bhagavatam is being said. And why it is? So this sequence is being said that this is the way how we should be actually looking at the deities. When we go to temple, we should be looking at the deities in this form. First looking at their feet, then meditating on their thighs, then on navel, then on chest, then on arms, then on face, this lotus face, right? So this is the way I've tried to conclude very, in a very briefly on our Bhagavatam. And so this is the way we will be going slowly and understanding the actual philosophical things of Srimad Bhagavatam. I know 30 minutes is quite short, and actually I've tried to compress the whole story of Gokarna and the talk between Narada Muni and Bhakti Devi. It's been elaborately described in Padma Purana, nearly in 5 to 6 chapters. However, having said that, and I would like to discuss one sloka of chapter 1, first sloka. It will take more 5 to 7 minutes. I hope it's okay. If it's okay, then we can continue. Else we can discuss tomorrow.
Fine,
what do you say?
It's fine, Prabhuji.
It's fine, Prabhuji. You can discuss.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you.
Okay. It's okay with us.
5 minutes.
That's fine. Fine for us as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. So what I will do, I will share the screen. Maybe that will be good. Just 1 second. That might be better for everyone to see, and let me try to share it. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see the screen now? I hope it will.
Yep.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, thank you. So this is the very first sloka, and in the very first sloka, it's being described who Krishna is, right? So we'll do it briefly and see it. I'll start the verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadhyasya Yasho Yato Yanvayad Yitratascha Vigyana Swarat Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavye Moyanti Yata Surya Tejo Varimradam Yatha Vinamaya Yatra Trisargo Amrisha Dhamna Shvena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. So Bhagavad Gita ends by saying that Sarva Dharma Parityajam Mam Ekam Saranam Braja. There Lord Krishna says that give up your all religions and accept Sarva Dharma Taridaja Mam Ekam Saranam Braja, take my shelter, isn't it? And Srimad Bhagavatam starts with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It means what? Oh Krishna, I am now surrendering to you. So let me read the translation. It's a bit big, Anna. It says, O my Lord, Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth. So from here, we will see there are 7 principles been applied, been described here. First is what? He is the absolute truth. Who? Lord Krishna. Because being Krishna is the son of Vasudeva. So he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of creation, sustenance, and destruction of this material universe. So 2 things. He is absolute truth, Krishna, and he is the cause of all causes. Even Brahma Samhita says the same thing. Sarva Karana Karanam. And third says, he is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestation. So Krishna knows everything directly and indirectly. Fourth, he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. That's the 4th one. And it is he only who first imparted Vedic knowledge onto the heart of Brahmaji, the original first being, the 5th point. And then says, by him, even the great sages and the demigods are placed into illusion. As one is bewildered by illusory representation of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universe temporary manifestations by the reactions of 3 modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existence in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representation of material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So in the very first verse, it's been clearly mentioned that who is Supreme Lord. And the 7 aspects been given that he is the absolute truth. He is the cause of all causes. He imparted knowledge into the Brahma so that the cosmos being created by Brahma. And then even the great sages, they got bewildered by illusion. How? We see many times when you go to deserts, right? The advanced stories say that in the deer, in the desert, they see that the sand looks to be water and they run and run and run. It doesn't happen and they die. Even we have experienced sometime maybe in India when it's too hot or summer, when we drive our car, we could see the road looks to be fire, but it's not fire, isn't it? In the similar way, the Maya, who actually holds the persons to see Krishna face to face. And then how that is, this material cosmos, this universe needs sunlight, isn't it? Without sunlight, we cannot do anything. But that Dhamma, Krishna's Dhamma, that is, there is no illusory, there is no illusion, and that Dhamma is always illuminating by its own self, right? Which is free from the illusory representation of material world. And this material cosmos looks to be real, but that factually is unreal. And that is how the explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam gives first sloka in a very nutshell that establishes that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and Krishna is the supreme of everyone and he is the cause of all causes. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the introduction, Srila Prabhupada provides a small brief introduction about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who actually came in this world nearly 500 back in Kolkata, Mayapur, and who spread the messages of chanting the holy name and getting love of Krishna. And he profoundly says that to read Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, because these are the two scriptures which gives direct perception of Krishna or the God, who God is. See, in Bhagavad Gita, the 5 topics are being described, and in Bhagavatam, the 10 topics are being described. So we will be going further, and we'll see in second canto what these 10 topics are. And there are 2 more slokas, that is 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3. Once we will, tomorrow, we will be going through 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3 again. And then we will continue the rest of the cantos in a story basis. Because to understand the Srimad Bhagavatam very well, we should be understanding these 3 verses a bit clearly, and then we'll go on to more detail on that. And I'll try to complete this whole 12th canto. Let's see, let's try it out. So anyone have any questions, any doubt and anything, please do not hesitate to post on WhatsApp, because we run out of time here. And any suggestions as well, please do let me know, and we can take it from there. Right. So I would like to end here today. So Srimad Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any suggestions, please do let me know, or if I'm going a bit fast or anything.
Thank you for